So in this video I'll explain you what are the features of this motorcycle, how it feels to ride, and let's discuss whether it is safe to ride, and also let's think whether it's the right time to switch to something like this, a hybrid fuel mode, or should we move to an EV. Scooters are hell expensive for all the sort of features that they give on the scooter. They have complicated the scooter scenario a lot. I mean, what's up YouTube, welcome to the review of the Freedom 125, the fully Indian made first production ready CNG motorcycle. So was riding this motorcycle inside the city yesterday, and I've taken this out to the highway today. So got pretty much a lot of details to tell about the motorcycle. First of all, this reminds me of the Honda Grom. Actually, we Indians know about the Honda Grom as the Honda Navi. So this has a little bit of inspiration from the Honda Navi. From the front section, the tank, that headlight and all those things reminds me of the Navi, but that thing was actually developed from the Honda Grom. And to be honest, this is not at all a small motorcycle. Yeah, if you see, maybe this looks a little smaller in the video, but definitely this is a bigger motorcycle. So yeah, let's get into the video. So in this video I'll explain you what are the features of this motorcycle, how it feels to ride, and let's discuss whether it is safe to ride, and also let's think whether it's the right time to switch to something like this, a hybrid fuel mode, or should we move to an EV. So let's start the video. So from the front, the headlight actually looks good and it performs well as well. I have used this light in pitch dark conditions. It's very nice. The throw is actually not so focused. That's the only trouble on this motorcycle. Otherwise the illumination is very good, and it comes with normal fogs, conventional fogs, but it comes with a fog covers, which there the Freedom has been written over there. And the suspension feel is, it is onto a softer side, be it front or the back suspension, it's onto a softer side. But I feel that it's getting bottom out when you're running through a bad patch of road, or if you are with your pillion and if you jump into any potholes, that bottom out feel is coming on. And you have disc brake in the front for this variant, and a neat looking tank, so that looks good. So the petrol tank on this one is of 2 liters of capacity, and here we can see the CNG gauge. It will tell you how much pressure is there on the tank. The CNG tanks actually sits underneath this seat, so that's why we got a longer seat. And here we have a kickstand and the 125cc, which can work with the CNG or the petrol. And a neat looking exhaust, looks good, sounds good as well. It's a little peppier, it's a little louder than what I expected for a 125cc, and that's the trellis frame that you see. It's kind of a perimeter design because you have to accommodate the CNG tank inside. And as I mentioned, it's just a 2 liter normal fuel tank, so it's quite often that you will spill out the fuel if you're going for full tank. So most probably just fill it for some 100 rupees or 150 rupees max if you run out of the fuel. So that was one trouble when I was using it. And it looks great, NG04 written over there, and from the back it looks very nice. It's a longer motorcycle as well as it's a taller motorcycle for my height as well. It's a very tall motorcycle. So getting on, you can see that it's quite a tall motorcycle for my height, but it's smaller as well. From this angle you see I'm sitting at the right place where I have to, but the thing is I have a little bit of space over here of the seat, and handlebar is a little short, but okay, it's a commuter motorcycle, I'm not asking for anything more. So on the side we have the very famous switch, the switch between CNG and the petrol. And here we have the high beam and the low beam indicator on, and yeah, there is a call switch over there. You can have your Bluetooth connected to this dash and have all the regular features that you see with any other motorcycle. And coming on to this portion, it's a very blank area over there. Only we have the start switch. I expected a kill switch, but it's not there. And it has a silent start as well. It's a silent start. So on the side we can see the CNG level. So there is no fuel level indicator, the petrol level indicator. Instead it will show a fuel warning, that's all. And we have the speedometer, the gear position indicator, the distance, time, the fuel efficiency is shown here, the clock is there, Bluetooth on, off, very basic stuff. So when the petrol is over, it'll show a warning over there, that's all. And when the CNG is over, yet it shows a warning here, but we have the level indicator over here. And when we open this portion, we'll be able to see the normal fuel cap. So here we will fill the petrol, and we can remove this and fill the CNG. So I feel this thing is little flimsy, not so of good quality, but otherwise altogether the quality is good overall. And we get crash bars as standard. So this motorcycle actually comes as 3 variant. So this one is the top of the variant, which gets the LED light and the disc brake, and the mid variant will get LED lights and no disc brake in the front, and the base variant will come with halogen lights and drum brakes in both sides. So these are the difference between these variants, and the costing is like ex-showroom price is 95k, 1,05,000 and 1,10,000. So let's talk about the details, rest of the details when we go out for the ride. Alright, we are back on road. It comes with a silent start, which is a good thing. Now let's pull it hard. I know that it doesn't make sense to pull this motorcycle so hard, because you know it is a 125cc motor which is running underneath it. Just that it projects a lot of attention and it projects a lot of aesthetics. We cannot expect a lot of power from this motorcycle. So it's under 10 bhp, under 10 Newton meter motorcycle. So the feedback is it's revving high. That's not a trouble. It's smoothly revving up. You can see that we reach a speed of 80, but it takes time and it smoothly takes it, and not too much of power, not too much of torque. And there is a difference between the CNG mode and the petrol mode, because when I tried the acceleration test, there's a minor difference. You won't be able to observe that until you time it, but the top speed has a bit of a difference. So what I observe is that the top speed with the petrol mode is 105 km/h, and the top speed in the CNG mode is 102. So it's just a 3 km difference, not a huge difference, and the acceleration is also a negligible difference. But there is a difference in heating and there's a difference in vibrations. The CNG mode has less vibrations. Altogether this motorcycle doesn't have much vibration, but you know, when we really ring it hard, like I was completely throttle locking and riding it on the highway in that 105 for a very long time. At that time I could really feel a bit of a vibration in the foot peg, which is quite understandable, and that thing is not there in the CNG mode. So CNG mode is more refined than the petrol mode, but the CNG mode has a little more heating than the petrol mode. But again, both of these vibrations, neither the heating is not to a level that it is annoying the rider. And to talk about the ergonomics and the ride feel, it's a completely upright riding motorcycle. You have a very long seat, so I think even tall riders will be happy riding this motorcycle, because you have a lot of leg space. You can sit around, be comfortable however you want. And only one trouble for short riders is that it's a bit of a tall motorcycle, so you have to be careful on that, especially if you are a beginner guy. And as well, it's a longer motorcycle, so comparing to all the 125cc motorcycles as well as the commuter scooters, I'll say that this is a bit heavier and it's a longer motorcycle, and that's understandable. And of course it's a taller motorcycle as well. So altogether it's not going towards the most commuter friendly or the beginner friendly version of it, but still it's a commuter motorcycle. And the handlebar is good. It's not too wide, but it's up to the mark for a commuter again. And the clutch feel is good, lighter one. Gear shifting is also good. It's a 5-speed gearbox, but I keep getting false neutral between the 4th and the 5th gear, but the shifting is good. And to ride at the speed of 70 to 80, it is very nice. Even at the top speed of 105 as well, it is very nice. You're just flat out on the throttle, that's all. And the braking is okay. This comes with a disc brake in the front, so this is the top variant. So in my opinion, I'll say that I have to apply both the brakes to bring the motorcycle down to 0 speed, because it's a heavier motorcycle. So I'll say that the braking is okay, nothing great, but I think with the drum brake, the braking should be a little low. And the suspension feedback is it is set onto a softer side. The problem is when you run through a pothole without knowing that, or if you run through a hump without seeing that, the suspension might bottom out. I get that feel. I mean, especially the front one. And also, this motorcycle has a space for 4 people. Literally, the seating comfort is also good. So it has a space for 4 people. So even if I ride with a single pillion, of course that is the most legal one. I am not encouraging anyone to have 2 more girlfriends and ride it like that. But what I'm telling is that even with a pillion, the suspension bottoms out at times. There are no ground clearance issues anyway. So that's the general feedback about the riding. So now let's talk about the safety of it, because you are sitting over a tank. So in my opinion, I'll say that Bajaj is not new into this business. They have been already developing the CNG based auto rickshaws, if you know about that. So they are experimenting, and they have a strong research and development team who have been working on this field for a very long time, and they just adapted it onto a motorcycle, drawing it from a clean slate. That's all. So safety wise, security wise, sitting on this tank, I feel more confident than sitting on an exploding battery. So that's my feedback, and let me know if you get that joke. And also Bajaj has done a lot of testing on this motorcycle, like crash test and taking a lorry over this motorcycle. So in any of these cases, it has never failed. And of course Bajaj has done it, so they will never show even if it has failed, but they have that confidence of showing that means they have done really good testing. So happy about that. So don't worry about it that it's a CNG, whether it will explode or not. In the initial days, I mean, when I just filled up the full tank, I was like, oh, it will be fully pressurized. What will happen if it explodes between my legs? It's quite a questionable thing. So then I mean, I just got used to it, and nothing happened really, fortunately. So don't worry on that. They are not just a new Chinese company who just landed in India. So we can trust on the brand for this side. So let's look at the ownership aspects of the motorcycle. So this comes for 1,10,000 for the top variant, and the mid variant for 1,05,000, and the base variant for 95,000 ex-showroom. So I'll say that this is completely value for money, because if you are looking for a commuter, be it a scooter as well, I mean, buying this makes a lot of sense. Nowadays scooters are hell expensive. I don't know why. Like, scooters should be less expensive than motorcycles, but nowadays scooters are hell expensive for all the sort of features that they give on the scooter. They have complicated the scooter scenario a lot. I mean, everybody, I'm not blaming anyone, but everybody. I mean, the next thing which I'll see on a scooter is flight mode. So yeah, it's very economical to buy this motorcycle and to maintain as well. I mean, the petrol will give you a fuel efficiency of 60 km per liter, and the CNG will give 102 km per kg. So altogether it's a great tank range. Altogether fuel economy feels good, and comparing to an EV, buying an EV, this feels more safe, because EVs are quite expensive for no reason. Yeah, I understand that the production quality and the production and the research and development goes behind it. It takes a lot of money, but the thing is, when it comes to the consumer, it's quite expensive, and we have the range anxiety. So on this side, this is not so expensive to buy, but it has maintenance, like it has the fuel cost, but no range anxiety. You can fill the fuel anytime, you can fill the gas anytime. But the only thing is the gas, I find it a little difficult to find a gas station, so I had to travel outside the city to find a gas station to fill it. But then there was less crowd over there, and also it's a motorcycle with a gas, so people don't expect you over there, and they might misbehave you as well. Like I went to one of the gas station, and he's like, no, bikes are not allowed here, and so I had to step back. I mean, probably he's not knowing about this. That's one reason. So running cost is very less. And also, to talk about the service, so this motorcycle actually goes for service once in 5,000 kilometers, and that's not the end of it. Since this motorcycle has additional air filters, these air filters has to be serviced once in 10,000 kilometers, and also once in 2 years you have to certify the CNG tank again, which is good thing in a way, because you'll never like end up keeping a tank for your lifetime. So you have to keep updated with the safety aspects. So if whenever the ISI gets updated, you have to go with their norms, do the testing and come back. So once in 2 years you have to do that, and it will cost something like 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, which actually Bajaj will help you to do this process. So altogether I'll say that the maintenance is there when compared to a EV, but compared to a scooter or a 125cc other motorcycle, it's much cheaper to rent this. And in my opinion, if you are a beginner, then I'll say that it's a very nice motorcycle. Just that if you're short, you'll find a little difficulty because it's a tall motorcycle, it's a heavy motorcycle, that's all. Again, compared to all other commuter motorcycle, because considering that I ride a CBR 650R, this is nothing for me, so I don't feel any pressure in handling this. But I know that this is going to be a little pressure for someone who is gonna swing his leg for the first time on a motorcycle. And if you are someone who wanted to have a secondary motorcycle for your usage, then this is good. This can be a good scooter replacement. I know that few people actually uses motorcycles like X-Pulse 200 because of the suspension travel, because we get the most shittiest road, so we have to have an off-roading motorcycle for the city use, just to throw it off into the Indian roads and just commute, that's all. So don't take this motorcycle like that, because the suspension travel is not so great. So then you have to go with the X-Pulse itself. But otherwise, if it's a very nice road, then traffic is fine, you can ride in the traffic, then it's a very good motorcycle. Altogether, I'll say that I have a huge positive feel about the motorcycle. A couple of issues which I found with the motorcycle is that, yeah, this portion is a little flimsy, and also when you fill the petrol, it's just a 2-liter tank, so the fuel might overspill, so just be careful on that, that's all. And also the suspension bottom out, that's all. Otherwise, I don't see any other issue with the motorcycle. Very happy feedback about the motorcycle. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye. Come on, come on. Come on. Am I in the CNG mode? No, it's in petrol mode. I should get 105. Alright, see you. Take care. Bye.